let me say, I look around, and you ladies look fantastic. Every one of you. Every one of you. So, men, you've either really married up, or they like taking in strays. Myself included. But seriously, I've been to a few of these. I've been to a few of these events. Most have been a lot of fun. Most have been a lot of fun. I've heard a lot of those Commandant messages. I'll just tell you, I found most of them to be, maybe they were unremarkable. Maybe I was hammered. So whatever I say tonight, I'm going to try to be remarkable, even if you're hammered. Okay? Even if you're hammered. We've charged our glasses. I'm going to offer a few toasts. We're gonna take a journey. All of us, we're Marines here, and we may have different waypoints in our journey, but our attack azimuth has all been the same. Every one of us, the attack azimuth has been the same. How we got to where we are has been different. Every one of us. But the azimuth and the heading has been very much the same. And we have a wide variety of people here. I've been to a lot of these things. This is the first time I've been to an event like this as a retiree. It's a little different. It's a little different. And I've never done this. I've never been a guest of honor. This is very humbling. This is very amazing for me. I have a whole lot of things that have been going through with me. But like good Marines, we're at the line of departure. We're on a journey, you and I'm asking you to step off with me like Marines do when we step off. And so I have some questions. My first question is, who are we? We're Marines, clearly. But what does that really mean? And I could lecture you about Title 10 and all kinds of crazy stuff. The 82nd Congress said we would be most ready when the nation's least ready, right? And some people would say America's 911 force. To me, it's potato. It's the same type of stuff. But I remember when I was a lieutenant having embark boxes for furniture in my office. I remember our gear being packed, everything ready to go. I remember some guys actually praying for war. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. We have a lot of nicknames. Leatherneck, Jarhead, Yellow Legs, White Sleeves, Teufelhunden. And we get those nicknames depending upon who we interact with. Some of them are out of envy, Jarhead. The Army uses that one all the time. Teufelhunden was out of respect and fear. But I would say that we need to remember that the Marine Corps is a pretty scary outfit. There are some countries in this world that believe that in order to become a Marine, you have to kill one of your own extended family.
Right. That's right.
And some of you are thinking right now who that guy is. Right? That's crazy talk, but that's different. That's what part of being a Marine and the mystique of being a Marine is. So who are we? There's something to be reckoned with, okay? The next question, and Jeremy hit on this earlier, who shaped you? Who shaped you as a Marine? For many of us, it was a drill instructor. And you can remember that guy. You not only remember his name, but you remember what his breath smelled like, right? For some guys, it's a squad leader. Some guys, it's a platoon sergeant, a sergeant major, a colonel. Okay, but who shaped you? And I would tell you, I'll share with you who shaped me. It was my first platoon when I was a lieutenant. I had some phenomenal sergeants. I had Sergeant Saunders. You remember these guys. Sergeant Saunders, Sergeant Turya, Sergeant Long, Sergeant Bonds, Sergeant Best. And these guys were phenomenal. I remember them pulling me aside at one point and saying, "Sir, let us do our job. We got this." What a phenomenal place to work, where guys that work for you are telling you to go away, they got it, and take care of things, you know. Another guy that shaped me was my platoon sergeant, Paul Connors. A remarkable guy. We called each other today. It's almost been 30 years, and Paul and I talk still. And he says, "You know, what I like about you, Jeff, is that you actually listen to me." But he doesn't remember the funny stuff. Like, I was really enthusiastic as a second lieutenant, and I knew how to fix a problem. We were going to go to 410 Alpha, and we were going to crack the nut. I had studied a lot about World War I, and we were going to go to CAX, and we were going to break this thing. And I gave him my idea, and he's like, "Sir, I need a smoke. Can we go outside?" I was like, "Sure." So we went outside, and then he lit a Marlboro, and he burned about half of it in one draw. And he looked at me and he said, "Sir, that's a stupid effing idea." He goes, "Can I make a recommendation?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess." It's a stupid idea. I guess I gotta make it an idea. He gave me an idea of how to do it. And I said, "Man, that's a great idea." And he goes, "I know, sir. Glad you thought of it. Let's go and do it." That guy shaped me. And he changed my trajectory in the Marine Corps. So who shaped you? I'd ask you to think about that right now, and who shaped you. Likewise, the next question, and I want to take a toast one to the guys that shaped you. So to the guys that shaped you. To the guys that shaped you. Boy, that's good. Who did you shape? That's my next question. Who did you shape? How many people have you impacted? How many people have you talked to and you had an impact on their life, their career? I would tell you that you probably don't know. I had a guy a couple of years ago. He was a lieutenant. I taught at the basic school. He was a lieutenant at the basic school. I met him years later. He was actually out of the Marine Corps. He was working for Department of Security Services, Department of State Security Services, DSS. And he came to me. I was like, "Hey, it's been so long." You know, it'd been like 20 years, you know, since I saw him. And he's like, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" I'm like, "Sure." And he said, "You know, I was on the berm in Kuwait, 2003, sitting in an Amtrak, and all I could think of was, you know, Captain Talapas probably wouldn't be proud of me right now." It's like, you got to be kidding me, right? I mean, that would be the last thing I would think of is some guy. I would be thinking about her. I'd be thinking about my kids. I'd be thinking about a lot of other stuff, about all my Marines. The last guy I'd be thinking about is some guy at Quantico that taught me patrolling and land nav and some other stuff, how to write a fit rep. But he said, "I was thinking about you, and I was pretty sure that you would have been disappointed in the level of preparation that I had done to get ready to cross over the berm in 2003 and invade Iraq." I don't know about you, but for me, that just kind of set me back. You have no idea what impact you've had on people, because that guy didn't have to say a thing. And if I had not seen him 20 years later, I would have never known. I'd have never known. So all of us here have had a tremendous impact on other Marines, and we don't know it. And so what I would like to do is offer another toast to those Marines that we have impacted and the people we have shaped. Well done. Who has walked in your footsteps? I look around here and there's not a lot of guys in uniform anymore, or there should be. I'm just kidding, man. You know that. I mean, seriously, who's active duty here still?
One,
Jeremy?
2, 3.
Scott, you active duty still?
I'm reserved now.
You reserve?
Yeah.
You still in uniform?
Yep. I can still fit in.
Still? You still fit? I still fit in it.
Kind of.
You know? But look around. Most of us are retired. I mean, just based on facial hair, right? Most of us are retired. So who follows in our footsteps? Who follows in our footsteps? And if you think about it, this is a tough job. It's a crazy job. I mean, some people think we have to kill our relatives to join the Marine Corps. You know what I'm saying? So what I would say is that we need to encourage America's youth and look for points where we can interact with them in schools, in church, in scouts, in sports, and weave that conversation in. Because they need to see you. They need to know you. They need to understand that you're a normal person that's operated under less than normal circumstances. You know? And so we need to inspire America's youth to continue to do what we have done. It's a huge responsibility. Some of these youth we don't know yet, but I would offer a toast to the ones that will follow in our footsteps. Now we look at each other. I'm almost done. Bear with me. But we look around at each other, and I ask you to say, what have we become? What have we become? We're veterans, and that's a unique title. And we've been through some difficult things. I would ask you to be reflective of that, to be humble of what you've gone through, to share with others. But regardless of what your MOS is, look at Marines. It doesn't matter what MOS you are or what era that you served in. When you find another Marine, you know, you're like Semper Fi, and there's this instant connection. There's this instant, you know that guy because he went through something similar, not the same, but similar that you went through, and you have this amazing bond all of a sudden. I was at a ceremony much like this. It wasn't in a garage, but it was pretty close. And we were celebrating the Marine Corps birthday. We were at Cammy's, we were in Florida, we were doing an air show, and we were demonstrating the Marine Corps capabilities alongside the Blue Angels, who were not very happy with us when the air show was over because we lit the whole airfield on fire. But that's a whole nother story. But when we were celebrating, I said, we're going to be there on November 10th. We're going to celebrate the Marine Corps birthday. I had a reserve infantry platoon, had an LEV platoon. I had all kinds of people there in Jacksonville Naval Air Station. And I bought a cake and I bought a keg. I said, we're going to do Marine Corps birthday. Well, not unlike tonight. You know, we're going to do it. I don't care. And we were in Cammy's. And when we went through the bar there, it was the officer club at Jacksonville. I noticed a guy who was really old, like really old. You could smell Moses on the guy, you know? And he had a Marine Corps ball cap on. And I stopped. And I was like, hey, are you a Marine? He's like, yeah, I'm a Marine. I'm like, we're doing a birthday ball. Today's the birthday. It's the 10th. We wanted you to join us. Oh, no. I'm like, no, I insist. And I told other guys, and they all like grabbed him, and we shanghaied him and dragged him out to the party, and we made him the guest of honor. He didn't have to speak or say anything, but I said, hey, you got to come. And the guys, all the Marines crowded around him. So there's this old guy, really old and wrinkly, like Yoda, and you're like, what did you do in the Marines? He's like, well, not much, really. I mean, I was in World War II. I fixed Corsairs. I mean, I really didn't do a lot. I mean, why are you guys making such a big deal, ass? And everybody was like, but you were in World War II and you fixed Corsairs, and he just felt so inadequate to be amongst us, which was terrible, And I look back at that and I say, it doesn't matter what MOS you are. It doesn't matter when you were in or where you were in. Someday, look around these tables. Someday, you're going to be that guy. Be gracious. Be inspiring. Put some steel in the backbone of the guys that are crowding around you and say, wow, you were in the Marine Corps when we fought against people in Afghanistan and Iraq. It doesn't matter what you did. It doesn't matter. It was the fact that you are a Marine and that you were there at the same time. So as veterans, that's who we are. But I would ask you, because we're Marines and we're pretty tight, it doesn't matter who we are. I would ask you to extend that courtesy to other veterans, regardless of what service they're in. Because we're all veterans. And we did something that other people didn't do, couldn't do, or wouldn't do. We volunteered. We said, I will go. I will do what my country needs to be done. And so regardless of service, be a friend to those other veterans. Because we carry stuff, a lot of us, regardless of service, we carry stuff. And not everybody comes home. Those sergeants I mentioned, not all of them none of them came home. Sergeant Marvin Best died in Iraq. And I'm not sure that when he died it mattered. In the big scope of things, Iraq's a mess today. And I'm not going to dwell on that. And I think Marvin Best, because I know that guy, he's phenomenal. He was a toe critter. Marvin would want me to live the life that he would live if he were alive. And so if any of you guys are carrying around some demons with you, if you're carrying some baggage, if you have survival guilt, if you know people that have that, the guys that didn't come home, they would want that. They would want that of you. They would want you to rejoice in being alive. They would want you to hug your kids. They would want you to kiss your wives. They would want that of you. And so I say, choose life. Choose life. I think in Hebrew it's l'chaim. And they mean it. We should mean it to choose life. So to life, and to those other veterans, to each other, to life. I thank you for your patience. I've never done this before. I've never had this honor, and I really appreciate the privilege. And hopefully, even if you're hammered, you might remember a little bit of what I've said. Semper Fidelis.
Semper Fi.